Welcome back, Fix-It-Againers. We've got another transmission here behind us that we're going to go through and fix it again. This is a 47RE that I had built back at the end of 2021. Customer started running it, looked like about March of that year, going back and looking at the records, March of 2022. So transmission's about 2.5 years old here. He said that there was nothing wrong with it. It was still working. He was just starting to get some clutch material in the pan when he was servicing it. So he wanted to send it in and basically get it checked up, get it refreshed, whatever it needs, so he can get back out and going with it. Originally, we built this one for 1,300 horsepower. I assume we did that because it's a 47RE. Usually like to safe rate the planetaries on those to around that power level. So customer asked if we could maybe upgrade it a little bit to what my current 1,500 plus horsepower build is. So let's get this thing apart and see how it looks and see what we need to do to get them back up and going. Always makes me happy to see the overdrive brake clutches looking excellent. These are the black Alto clutches that I sometimes use, and these things are awesome. You can see here by the markings on the top steel that the overdrive piston has been applying. So this ring around the overdrive of the piston applies to that steel. So it's not like these things haven't been used before. They've definitely been used, but they look brand new, perfectly fine, absolutely no reason to change those. Those will go back in. So this transmission was actually built with a billet steel direct drum. And let's take a look at this rigid second gear band. And it was actually holding up extremely nicely. This thing still looks great. You can see the Kevlar material still has the green color on it that you're looking for. So I don't see any reason to change that out. The direct drum itself has just a little bit of heat in it, but nothing that I would worry about because the band looks so good on this thing. So when I get a combination like this that is looking great, I don't like to change things on it unless I have to. So I'll just give this a fresh little resurface on it, and I think this combo will go back together with it. These are our direct clutches here, so these are on in third gear. Typically these things see a lot of load as well. 1-to-1 is pretty hard on the transmission as far as the ratio stuff goes, and these things just look awesome. They look so good that I personally would put them back in and run them. They look excellent, but I will contact the customer and let him make the call if he wants me to replace them or not. Our forward clutch pack looks great as always. It always should. This is a non-shifting clutch pack. So what that means is when you drop this thing in gear, or in this case, since it's full manual valve body, when you put it in first or second or third, these apply and they stay applied. They only release when you go into reverse. So as long as you got enough clearance to keep them oiled in reverse, you got a good Belleville spring, you got good line pressure, you should really never have any forward clutch issues. These don't have any issues, so these are good to put it back together. So far, the low reverse band is the only thing I found with any wear on it. You can see it was starting to mar up where you can't see the heavy duty anymore. And what this is back when this transmission was built, we used to have to run the low reverse band clearance pretty loose to avoid having a 1-2 bind on the trans brake stuff. Since then, we have found a little bit better way to do it, and so we can run this adjustment a little bit tighter. If you get this adjustment on the edge where you're, say, a turn out from what the adjustment should be, so if you've got this thing at like 4 1/4 turns, you're on the verge of really what this band is able to hold. And what it can start doing is when you're on the trans brake, it can actually start trying to slip the band a little bit. So we have remedied that problem. I will go ahead and stick a new band in this for him and do those couple little updates to it, and we won't have to worry about this problem ever again. Got our gear train apart to take a look at the thrust here, and everything looks pretty good. We do a rollarized bearing on the front analyst ring gear there to prevent thrust washer getting chewed up. The rest of the thrust washers don't really have that problem. You can see there they just have normal wear on them, and so no issues with that. I'm going to contact the customer and see if he wants to upgrade any of this stuff to 48 style. He requested that this transmission be good to 1,500 horsepower this time around. Typically on a 1,500 horsepower build, we would do 48 planetaries to be on the safe side. I'm going to contact him and see what he wants to do. Usually if there's going to be a point of failure, the aluminum 4-pinion rear planetary could be the first place for it to fail. So we might do an aluminum 6-pinion in that. The front planetary is a 5-pinion steel. Honestly, I've never really seen a 47 fail. I just know that they can fail above 1,300 horsepower, and I like the safe rate stuff. Yes, there's guys out there that have made 2,000 horsepower on 47 stuff. There's guys that have gone bottom fives on 47 stuff. I've seen stuff live way beyond what it really should live, but I'm going to let the customer make the call on what he wants to do here. Little wellness checkup on the pump here. Didn't expect to find anything with as good as the rest of the transmission looks, but you always got to check. The gear pocket area looks good. The face of where the gear rides on looks really nice. Outside of the gear looks good. The tip to lobe clearance is good. We're going to look for scratches on our stator support because that's going to be indicative of if we had any converter ballooning issues, which on the supply regulated lockup stuff we don't. So everything looks really good there. Our pump bushing stayed in place. Everything's looking good. I probably will go ahead and replace the pump bushing just because I'm in here. Obviously put a new seal in it, and we are good to go on the pump. Overdrive planetary section checking out good. Everything looks really happy here. Overdrive brake clutches in perfect shape, like they always should. So overall, this transmission has looked extremely nice. Very happy with it for being 2 years old. I'm having quite a number of dirt drag and drag race passes on it. So I'll finish busting down the rest of the transmission here, get all this stuff cleaned up, and get it put back together. All back together, got her all cleaned up and refinished in this gloss black. It's ready to head back to the customer, go back out on the racetrack, out on the dirt track, and give it another life of service. So that's a wrap for this episode of Fix It Again. If you guys are liking this type of stuff, make sure you get in the comments below. Let me know what you think. Hit that like button. Helps the algorithm get this content out there to more people. And if you are not subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Turn that bell icon on. That is going to let you know every time I post a new Fix It Again, track videos, all kinds of stuff. So you're going to want to be aware of what's coming down the pipe. Thanks, guys. Catch you next time.